Aloha, guys. This is Tiggy Maximus with Tiggy Maximus Talks, episode 248 on Spotify and YouTube. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching the podcast, spreading the word, even donating to the podcast. Um, if you do feel like donating to the podcast, there is a link on my Spotify episode which takes you to the donation portion um, of the podcast. And if you happen to be on YouTube, it just takes you to the Spotify one if you copy and paste. So you end up at the same place. But thank you guys for taking the time to listen, donating, spreading the word. Thank you all. On this episode 248, I'm gonna be talking about two comedy shows. One is a show that was at the La Jolla Comedy Store. Pretty Funny Women. They normally have a show on the last Wednesday of any month. So the one I went to was, I think it was November 26th. Yeah, I think that's a Wednesday. So November 26th. The show is run by Lisa Sunstead. The host for this one was actually Linda Schwartz. Show gets started with Teron Heffley. Does the usual, gives you the guidelines, the rules of the show. Don't park at Vaughn's or Pavilion, otherwise you get towed away. He pretty much told us the exits as if this was like one of those presentations when you board a airplane and you got to do certain things like know the exits. Be that if you're gonna be that what do you call it, that person who is supposed to be like a um, emergency monitor or something. So you happen to be by an exit, you are almost obligated to know how to direct people to safety in emergency situations. Kind of felt like that. But then Taron Huffley did kind of go into his comedy set to start the night off, and well, he had some really good laughs. Talks about being polite. Talks about being in the Midwest. Talks about dating, being a smoke show, stuff like that, and he got some chuckles. Um, I guess because the tone of his voice when he does these jokes, like it kind of like lulls you into like a state where you're gonna have to make a big effort to laugh when there is a joke. Because like if there was already laughing going on and um, you're already in that state where you're going to be very susceptible to laugh at anything, but because the way he kind of started off, I mean the jokes are there, but like I just kind of feel that we kind of start with a tone like that. Um, People are just kind of like waiting for the punchlines, the jokes, and then when it does come around, you all of a sudden you garner enough energy, effort to kind of laugh at the punchline. Um, so yeah, I want to say Taron Heffley, 8.5 out of 10. The next person he introduced was Margaret Starr, and I guess she got on the show because I think there was supposed to be another lady on the lineup for the Pretty Funny Women, and it was supposed to be Angelica Venezuela, but I didn't see her on the show. So I guess Margaret Starr got some stage time, and she got to bring out her infamous piano. But she only got like maybe a couple minutes, and um, Taryn Heffley I guess had to come up from behind her and kind of told her how much time she actually had, and then it seemed like it kind of ended very abruptly actually. So Margaret Starr, I think she was trying to sing "Wet Ass Pussy" WAP, but yeah, it was 8 out of 10 for Margaret Starr. Then you got your host, Linda Schwartz. She talked about growing up in Georgia, I guess, being an orphan. Um, Talks about her brothers. Her brother was apparently in the Marines. Um, but yeah, she talked about getting married, how she got proposed to, mostly the usual stuff. There might have been maybe one new joke, but overall, um, Linda Schwartz, I think she was an 8.3 out of 10. The next person that went up, I think, was J2, and it's a it's quite an honor to kind of see her like do so well, because she was probably the best one of the night actually. Um, she talked about her appearance, talks about dating. Um, yeah, she talked about the whole men and women's restroom signs. So that kind of made people laugh quite a bit, and she had a callback on something that Mimi Harris had said earlier. So I want to say J2, she was a 9.0 out of 10. Um, Another person that was on the lineup was Mimi Harris. She did all right. She had some good laughs from the crowd. She talks about being a part-time lesbian, I guess. I guess that came up. Um, and she got some, yeah, she got some jokes. She got some laughs. There's some other ones was kind of alright, kind of chill. Don't want to say Mimi Harris 8.1 out of 10. There was another lady that went up. Her name was Kimberly Bray, and she did pretty well. Um, she got a lot of um, she got a lot of laughs, and um, she got the crowd going for her set. She might be the loudest person, honestly. Um, and so I want to say that she was a 9.0 out of 10. Another person that was on the lineup was JJ Jorgensen. I think she was a lawyer. I remembered her from a previous Pretty Funny Women event. I think she kind of had her like graduation showcase comedy set. Um, but this particular time around, I kind of felt like there was a lot of chilled moments and not a lot of laughs. There were some laughs, but not a lot. So I want to say um, JJ Jorgensen was a 7.8 out of 10. And then we got Lisa Sunstead. Um, so she kind of sang a little bit. She talked about a little bit of her background. Um, and then she kind of had some other jokes and talked about her book. And I want to say she did a great job. Crowd was laughing at a lot of parts. It was a lot better than the last time that she was up. Um, so she was like, you know, she seemed all there. She wasn't like Vincent or anything. So, um, but I want to say Lisa Sunstead, she was a 8.7 out of 10 for a comedy. And then we got our headliner. And I've seen this lady one time perform at the Belgian Beaver in North Park, and then she gets to headline the Pretty Funny Women. And she talks about being married for a long time, talked about dating. Um, she even brought up a portrait of a food item. It looks like a hot dog, but then it looked like a messed up hot dog, and she pretty much compared that messed up hot dog to her vagina and how it looks like. And that got everybody laughing so much. And she did pretty well for her set. I want to say that she was a 8.8 out of 10. Um, Yeah, overall great show. I'm glad I went to this pretty funny women show. Got to see some comedians that did really well. Um, and hope to see J2 again soon, and Kimberly Bray, and Jere Evans. So, you know, come out to a show in a town near you to see some of these great comedians like Linda Schwartz, Mimi Harris, J2, Kimberly Bray, JJ Jorgensen, Lisa Sunstead, Taryn Heffley, Margaret Starr, and yeah, that's everybody. Yeah. Um, yeah. And then I did go to a roast battle. December 3rd show at the again the La Jolla Comedy Store. Um, there was three comedians that went up, and then there was four sets of roast battles. Taryn Heffley went up first. Kind of did the same stuff again. Talked about the light switch, how to get better at eating pussy. Talked about being very polite, being a smoke show. Um, I want to say it was a little more chill, but he did get some good jokes like he did at the Pretty Funny Women show. I want to say he was an 8.3 out of 10. Then Mike Vin went up. Um, some of his jokes kind of hit with the people like the getting the Peloton, but not being able to get like Bears tickets. Um, it was a little chill, but he did get some laughs though. So I want to say he was an 8.4 out of 10. And then we had a very special guest comedian. We had a lady who was an actress on the show Euphoria, and her name is Elise Golubsky. Um, she talks about dating. She talks about having a deep voice. Um, she didn't do too bad of a job because the crowd very liked her, and she wore like a very leather pink dress, which looks like Pepto Bismol apparently. So overall, Elise 8.5 out of 10, and it turns out she's one of the roast battle judges, along with Mike Vin and um, let's see. Um, uh, so the first roast battle, um, I think it was Chase Alexander going up against Xana Weiss. Um, that one was kind of an okay roast battle. There were probably a few that kind of got people laughing, but some of the roast jokes was kind of a hit or miss. Xana Weiss, I believe she won the roast battle. Gordon Downs actually was hosting the roast battle, and I think this is his last show. He's not doing it anymore after this show, and he got some good laughs because he said that he was at an Applebee's and he wasn't supposed to be there. Um, I would say that roast battle was 8 out of 10. Um, I think the next one that was up was um, I remember now. Austin Hernandez versus Bella. Um, both of them kind of had some really good ones, and they are two of the best roasters here in San Diego. Um, and they impressed the judges, but I believe they gave it to Bella. Um, I think. Um, Overall, there was a lot of good back and forth and a lot of good retorts. Overall, I want to say it was 8.5 out of 10. And then um, we got one battle between Aaron Trahan and Wes Brenner. That one was okay. Um, it seemed like at one point that Wes Brenner had said all of his roast jokes in one swoop. He didn't go back and forth with Aaron, and then Aaron Trahan kind of slowed down his jokes or his roast, and somehow it kind of caught on because the slower he says the punchline, it actually was making it more funny for him on for his advantage. So Aaron Trahan beat Wes Brenner. But I kind of felt like that roast battle was an 8 out of 10. And then your main event, Christy Montatani going up against Chris Angel. That one was pretty good. It was good back and forth. Um, and then I guess it was pretty even until Christy Matsutani, she kind of flubbed her last roast joke. Got a little bit confused as to how many she put up, and I think people wanted her to say her last roast joke, but it kind of fell flat in a way. Um, yeah, I think Chris Angel had mentioned something about Christy being Korean, um, something about a K-pop star, stuff like that. And Christy Montatani kind of talked about Chris and his height. Um, so Chris Angel did beat Christy Montatani, but overall it was like a 9 out of 10 roast battle. So uh, I gotta say, Chris Angel came very well prepared, and Christy kind of ran out of steam, honestly. So yeah, another great roast battle night. Um, they are normally the first Wednesday of every month, so the next one's in early January. So they were trying to do two a month, but they're going to cut back on that. So, um, but the next roast battle, the last time they're going to do a second one later in the month is actually December 17th. So it's next Wednesday. But yeah, um, but yeah, starting in January, they're gonna go back to once a month, first Wednesday, I think. So, anywho, next time I talk to you guys, um, I'm gonna be talking about Chargers and Chiefs. It's gonna be a very good game. Chargers, if they win, they pretty much eliminate the Kansas City Chiefs, which is very odd considering how long it's been since the Chiefs have not made the playoffs. That means Mahomes was pretty good up to this point. The Chargers are 9-4. The Chiefs are 6-7. So we'll see what happens. And then I guess the next time, if I do talk about a comedy show, it's going to be the Natasha Collier um, comedy show at the My Drop Comedy Club, which has Ritu. Um, it also has Connor Costello, and of course your headliner Natasha Collier. Um, and if there's another show to talk about, it might be December 6th show. It was like a singles and sweaters dating comedy show with collaboration with in IRL San Diego, in real life San Diego. Um, but the show was put together by Camille Waters. So I'll talk more about that on the next episode. But yeah, guys, enjoy the weekend. This Saturday is Sunday night's main event. John Cena's very last match in WWE in his career, and he's going up against Gunther. We're going to see how that's going to be. if I had to make a prediction, I am gonna say um, I'm gonna say Gunther beats John Cena, and that will be the end of John Cena in wrestling WWE, and he gets to ride into the sunset, main event in the wrestling card, Saturday night's main event, and yeah. So the prediction: Chargers should beat the Chiefs, and let's say um, Bills over Patriots, Rams over Lions, um, Seahawks over Colts. Philip Rivers coming back for the Colts, and then oh yeah, Packers over Broncos. So those are my predictions for the NFL weekend, week number 15. We're getting close to the end of the regular season, and the playoffs are coming around pretty soon. So yeah, guys, stay tuned. Have fun this weekend. I'm gonna be hanging my LED dartboard, which I got from work. 15-year anniversary. It's gonna look pretty cool. If you guys want to ever come over and play darts, let me know. And the thing lights up. Well, that's it for me, guys. Again, have a good weekend. Have some good food. Watch some good comedy shows. Watch some good sports on TV and in person. And Tiggy Maximus signing off. Booyaka, baby. All right, later, guys. Booyaka. Shama. Yeet.